In our previous episodes, we've outlined the wide range of problems with this old bathroom and opted for a complete tear-up. But we're going to keep the vintage pink Kohler fixture. After ordering a dumpster and constructing a rustic temporary bathroom down in my basement, it was time to get down to business, gripping and ripping. Now the walls are insulated, drywalled, and plastered. There's a new ceiling exhaust fan that vents out the side of the house. We've installed a brand new window to replace the rotten and broken single pane glass window that was in the bathroom, and finished the porcelain tile tub surround that used to be plastic paneling. Now, it's time to give the bathroom's wiring a major upgrade. We'll get the tub and shower fixtures put into place and install a brand new vanity cabinet. All this and more in today's episode. If any mortar pushed into the joints between tiles, you're gonna have to be really careful and scrape that out. Be sure to follow the instructions on the grout carefully. They're usually given in picture format on the back of the bag. Add water to the bucket first, then pour in the powder and mix it. Even a little bit too much water can ruin the grout, so err on the side of caution, and if you need to add more water, use very small amounts. Often I'm not using a full bag, so I weigh out the amount of grout I want to use, and then use a spreadsheet to calculate the amount of water to use in cups. So I pour in the water first, then mix it up well using a margin trowel. Using a grout float, work it into the grout lines as well as you can. Here's how it looks fully covered. Now use a grout float again to scrape off the bulk of the excess. Go at an angle to avoid digging into the grout lines. Now, using a fully wrung out sponge, carefully continue washing off the excess. This grout was so dark, it took about 12 rounds of washing to get it as clean as I wanted. A modern home has many electrical circuits in it, each that bring electricity to a different part of the home. Each circuit is rated with the maximum amount of current that it can safely carry. If too many electrical appliances are plugged into one circuit and being used at the same time, it will overload the circuit and the breaker will shut off automatically. In the US, a standard household circuit will be rated at a maximum of 15 amps, but modern electrical code requires that certain circuits be higher at 20 amps, such as those running to the kitchen, the garage, and to the bathroom. That's because these are the areas of the home where people are likely to be plugging in high electricity appliances, such as the power tools in a garage, or a variety of different kitchen appliances. In a bathroom, the classic examples of high amperage appliances are the ones that contain heating elements, like hair dryers and curling irons. Also, because bathrooms are relatively wet environments, modern electrical code requires that the outlets in bathrooms be GFCI-protected, which just stands for ground fault circuit interrupter. It's a safety measure to prevent electrocution. In a standard two-prong outlet, electricity flows out through one side, runs through the appliance, and flows back in the other side. At all times, the amount of electricity flowing out should be equal to the amount flowing back in. If this is not the case, it means that some of the electricity might be getting diverted through a dangerous pathway. The GFCI outlet will detect this automatically and shut power off to the outlet. So not only did my bathroom not have a 20 amp circuit running to it, it was on a 15 that was shared with different parts of the house. Also, the outlets in my bathroom were not GFCI protected, though in this electrical upgrade, we'll fix both of these issues. We'll run a brand new dedicated 20 amp circuit to the bathroom, and we'll run both outlets through a GFCI so that they're both protected. There will be two outlets in the bathroom instead of just one like there was before. And of course, we're also going to wire up the exhaust fan too as part of this upgrade. When I'm doing wiring, I still like to draw out a simple schematic since I don't do this every day. So here's going to be the source. We've got the hot wire in black and the neutral in blue. So when we get to the first electrical box, I'm going to split both of these into two. For the hot wire, one's going to feed the switch, the other one is going to feed the GFI receptacle. Right? And for the neutral, one's also going to go to the receptacle, and this one's going to bypass the switch up to the exhaust vent. Our second electrical box is going to get fed from the GFI. So similar situation here, split them both into two, having a hot and neutral feeding the receptacle, and then this one going to the switch and up to the light fixture. I just want to quickly show you the right and the wrong way to tie two wires together. Most people will cut the wire to their final length, strip a little bit of the wire jacket off, and then since you can't really get any real leverage on these to twist them, they just take the wire nut and spin it on. If you're working with old wiring, you might have to do it that way, but let me show you the better way to do this if you're rewiring this yourself. I've left a whole bunch of the bare wire exposed. Now I can really get a good handle on these. Now I can take the clippers and cut it to the right length. For this project, I'm using an off-the-shelf, unpainted base cabinet from Home Depot. I'm a huge fan of this Graco True Coat 360 airless paint sprayer. It gives a beautiful paint finish and gets the job done really fast. Just be sure to take your time and clean it properly after each use. To cut the countertop, I'm using my circle saw equipped with a special blade for cutting laminate. Regular wood cutting blades will chip it really bad. It's time to cut a hole for the sink. I've taped the sink mounting brace to the countertop in the proper location so that I can trace its outline. This is where we'll be doing the cutting. Now we're going to need a starter hole for the jigsaw. I'm using a 3/4 inch spade bit for this. As this cut nears completion, the middle is going to want to hang down and cause the laminate to rip or to crack. This temporary support strip will prevent that from happening. Now we'll just use the jigsaw to make the cut. Once again, this is a special blade meant for cutting through laminate. Ideally, the countertop would be clamped down to a workbench to avoid the movement and vibration that you see here. We're going to take this cabinet out one more time and install this woodwork now. The first piece we're going to put in is this side piece right here. We already have the backer installed against the wall. It's going to get nailed into that. But first, we're going to screw it in through here by countersinking some 2.5-inch drywall screws.